everybody, so let's talk about the ROI of an MBA. That is the return on investment of having a Master of Business Administration degree. Now, here's an article that appeared on LinkedIn recently called The Return on Investment of MBAs. And this is a highly suspicious article. Okay, this article claims that 98% of graduates, that's students who have taken an MBA at a university and have paid $100,000 to $250,000 US dollars to take an MBA, it claims that 98% of those graduates claim that it pays off. Okay, that's what this article is saying. Now, this is suspiciously contradicting directly another article that appeared on LinkedIn recently that says precisely the opposite. Okay, so this is a direct contradiction. Now, if I didn't know any better, I would say that this article is directly or indirectly a plant by interested parties that want you to take an MBA, and they want you to borrow $100,000 to $250,000 US dollars to take an MBA because they claim it will pay off. Let's get into this. Okay, now, first of all, why would anyone take an MBA? Well, there's two reasons why anyone would want an MBA. Number one is its intrinsic value. So you get to learn the things that they teach you in an MBA, in business school. These are business fundamentals and slightly more intermediate business theory. Okay, and maybe depending on the institution that you're taking this with, maybe even more advanced theories. Okay, things that perhaps are on the cutting edge of this field of study right now, depending on what institution you're taking. Okay, so that's the number one reason why people would take this. Okay, it's intrinsic value. You get to learn this stuff, and you can apply it in your career. It'll help you make better decisions. It might help you climb the corporate ladder. It might help you become more of a superstar in your job. Okay, that's the number one reason. The second reason why anybody would take an MBA is because, depending on, once again, on what institution you go to, there may be some networking opportunities. If you go to school and in your class and in your work group, you are working with the son or daughter of somebody very rich, very influential, and maybe owns a few companies, that can be tremendously useful because if you're applying for a job at that company, you have a personal reference, a pretty powerful personal reference too. So you could say, well, I went to school with the owner's son or daughter, and then the owner's son or daughter can be a reference for you, and they will say, yes, I know that person. I know that they're somewhat competent, they're sane, they're trustworthy. You should hire them. Okay, pretty hard to contradict. Now, that is the second reason why anyone would get an MBA. Now, as you can imagine, that second reason only applies for certain institutions. If you are getting an MBA from a place like Harvard University or any of the Ivy League schools, then that's probably a big factor involved, okay? But if you're getting an accredited MBA from most other places, I would not bet on that second reason really being there and paying off, okay? And this has been the evidence that I have seen myself in the real world over the last 20 or 30 years. I myself have an MBA, and I've spoken to many people who have MBAs, and I've had employees of mine that have MBAs, and this is the information that I've received over the years. Now, this is a direct contradiction. Now, let's go back to the first reason here, okay? Learning business. This is not particularly hard, okay? This material has been out there for many years. It's like learning calculus, okay? It's been around for hundreds of years. The information is out in the public domain. Anybody can learn it by picking up a textbook or watching a series of instructional videos and practicing it. It's really not that hard, especially if you've done something like medicine or law or engineering. I mean, this stuff is really child's play. And I can say that because I have a degree in engineering and a degree in management. And yeah, it's a whole order of magnitude difference when it comes to the complexity and the how challenging the material is. This stuff is nowhere near as complex or as challenging as things like engineering. Okay, it's not that hard to learn, frankly. Now, why an institution would convince someone that they have to pay $250,000 to learn this stuff is beyond me. It really is a glaring injustice, because the reality is that you don't need to pay anything near this if you just want to learn the material. That's the bottom line, okay? Now, if you don't believe me, think of this. It's possible to go online to the websites of a lot of institutions, universities, and so on, that offer Masters of Business of Administration degrees, and see what the courses are you'll be taking, and see what textbooks they're using. And then it's possible to buy those textbooks online, sometimes for as little as $5 if you're buying a slightly older version or older edition, and learn the material yourself, okay? You might not have an accredited piece of paper to show, but you will learn the material. Now, if you are interested in that first reason to take an MBA, you want to learn this material, you feel that this will help you in your job or in your career by knowing this stuff and being able to think in this way and apply these principles, okay? If that's what you're willing to do, I can tell you for a fact, you do not need to spend this kind of money to learn it, okay? Now, to this point, I will be offering my own course called the $100 MBA, and it will be literally available for $100. And what I do is I take you through a Master's of Business Administration. What I do is I give you a book list, a list of textbooks that are available that you can buy from places like Amazon, that you can learn yourself. You can buy these textbooks, you can learn the material yourself at your convenience, at home, and do it at a pace that works for you, and you will come away with essentially the same knowledge as you would taking an accredited MBA. Now, you may not get the networking connections. I can pretty much guarantee that you will not get the same networking opportunities, obviously, that you would get if you took an MBA from Harvard. But if you are not interested in that and you just want to learn the material, you can do it for $100. Stay tuned to my channel, The Company's Expert, and this, my secondary channel, The Company's Expert 2. This course will be out in December. You will get a list of textbooks. You will get a synthesis of each subject, each course, by me. And you will also get tips and tricks informed by me having been a CEO and having had a 30-year career in business, that I can give a synopsis and a synthesis of the topic and how it can be used and how it can be exploited going into the future, and how it can enhance your abilities in most types of management positions. So if that's of any interest to you, stay tuned to my channel. I will have that course out in December. If you are interested in that, please let me know in the comments. Please let me know what you would like to see in that course, because I'm in the process of making it right now, so I still can tweak it a little. And if you are still listening this long, thank you so much for listening. I do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts. And always remember, never ever forget this, okay? You are awesome. You might not have $250,000 to spend on an MBA program, but if you're smart and you're dedicated and you're passionate, you can be every bit as effective as a manager with alternate education. So thank you very much. You guys are awesome. I hope to see you on my next video. Take care.